Hi, this is our last lesson, or part of lesson 19. It's our third day. And we're going to do two different things today. The first is I want to talk about adding a different type of suffix, and when you're adding a suffix to words that end in Y. So there's a couple things you need to know. When a word ends in Y, but that Y is right after a consonant, like in the word spy or cry, for example, I'm going to use cry. The Y comes right after a consonant, which is R. And you add any type of suffix. Doesn't matter if it ends in or begins in a vowel or a consonant. You always have to change that Y to an I. So if I say I cried, you change the Y to an I and then put on an ED. Okay? They've also shown you, like in the word noisy, noisily, you have to change that Y to an I, even though you're adding an LY. Okay, here's the tricky part. The exception is if you're adding an ING, even if there's a consonant before the Y, you keep the Y. So when I say I'm crying, you keep the Y. So you would say cries, and you change that Y to an I, or cried, you change that Y to an I. But for crying, you have to keep the Y. And that's because otherwise it would look like this. You would have two I's, which you don't want. So when you're adding an ING, you have to change that Y to an I. The last thing is if the Y is part of a vowel team, like in pray, like AY or UY, you keep it together. You don't change that Y because it's part of this one vowel team. Okay? So you're going to practice using that rule on page 113 today, and you're going to do exercise 6. And I'm actually not going to care about you doing the rule this time, but I would like you to combine these words. So I'm going to do the first couple, and then you're going to try the rest on your own. So the first word is murkiness. So my suffix does not begin with an I, so it means I'm going to change the Y to an I. Murkiness, just like that. Okay. But obeyed, that Y is part of the A sound. It's EY makes the A sound, so I actually just keep it all together. Obeyed. Grungier, you change that Y to an I. And then if I have multiple turkeys, that EY is part of one sound, E. So you're actually going to keep the Y, just like that. So you're going to finish this page 113. You do not need to upload it to Seesaw. I will post answers tomorrow. And then you're also going to do page 117. On page 117, it says, nouns can be names of things or ideas that are abstract. That is, that like can't be touched, seen, or felt. Kind of like love or happiness, things like that. So what you're going to do is you are going to sort our words into categories. So you're going to decide, are they, is it a person, is it a place, or is it a thing? All right, and I'm going to tell you, or is it an abstract idea? So I'm going to tell you how many are in each column. So we have 2 in the person, we have 1 in the place, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10 in the thing, and we have 4 in the abstract idea. So obviously, some of these words won't be used, and I'm going to help you. I'm going to get rid of those for you. So words that won't be used, we're not going to use very. So you can go ahead and cross that out. Okay. You are not going to use thinner. You're not going to use thirsty. You're not going to use 30. You are not going to use bury, like to bury something. You're not going to use grungier. You're not going to use disturbed or irrigate. or irritate or irregular. Okay? I will say that a couple words will be both in thing and abstract idea, and there's 4 of them. So you'll have spirit will be in both thing and abstract idea. Surprise will too. Where's surprise? Luxury will. And merit. Okay. So, to recap, you're going to finish exercise 6 on page 113. And then you're going to sort the words, the nouns, into their correct column on page 117, and the answers will be up tomorrow.